What's up, guys? A lot of shadows here today. I do another card discussion video, and finally, because I've been in a card discussion video for a long time, because the last one was about One Piece discussion of the elite officers, and this time will be a Marvel discussion video about the late main bad guy that appeared in Avengers Age of Ultron. Ultron himself! Well, so in this card discussion video, I will talk a lot about what I thought, what I expected about his powers, about his personality, about my thoughts, my personal thoughts, what I think about the character, and a few modifications that Joss Whedon did on his character, the difference between the movie character and in the comics. So, in short words, I will talk about much more everything. So here, oh yeah, before this card discussion begins, spoiler alert to all viewers around the world who didn't see the Avengers Age of Ultron movie. I suggest you, and I'm warning you, that in this card discussion video I'll talk a lot about what happened in the movie. It even concludes Ultron and his target and everything, so spoiler alert. If you didn't watch the movie, don't watch my card discussion video because I don't want to spoil your own expectations for the movie. So if you don't like spoiler alerts, don't watch this video, okay? Are we okay? So here the card discussion begins. So at the beginning, when I heard about the first steps of Avengers Age of Ultron, now about making it, filming and everything, I thought that Ultron would be, just like in the comics, like a normal robot without any personality in his cyber brain and everything, that he will, just follows orders like a normal robotic being. Like the extinction of all humanity and everything, nuclear rockets and everything, just he can remake the world and everything. So this was my first expectation about Ultron, because Ultron, well, in Marvel, Ultron is one of my favorite bad guys, so that's why I know a lot about him. But here's the thing. When Joss Whedon were in an interview, and he said that Ultron, well, I just read to you because it's really interesting. There was the first steps that give us to about Ultron. So Joss Whedon and Kevin Feige said that Ultron will not be a standard robot and will have more of a personality in the film, starring like he's not a creature of logic. He's just a robot who's generally disturbed, So that's why they said that we find mixing to make him menacing and at the same time, entering a funny and strange and unexpected and everything what a robot never had. So in some point of view, you get the point. And when I saw the first trailer, I understand it. Especially in the first teaser trailer when he sung, "There are no strings on me. I'm free." And and when I saw the movie, now I understand where he get these quotes. It was they're quotes from the Pinocchio movie, where when he was singing like he's a doll with no strings, like he's free and everything. So I understand, because they add a little bit of humor in his personality. And actually, when I saw the trailers, I thought he would be just a normal robot. But because I was a little bit suspicious, when Joss Whedon and Kevin Feige talk about Ultron, his own character, and these modifications they will give him in the movie. And after I saw the movie, now I know what they were thinking. Because in the movie he wasn't an ordinary robot. He was a robot, but some kind of a humanoid. A humanoid, and with ambition, personality, a little bit of drama in his robotic soul. Having this, disturbance, his own thoughts and thinking how he thinks about humanity, about the world, and Avengers and everything. In a short words, I don't really know how to describe, but he was totally different from the comics, and especially, for my opinion, I really like that, because in the Avengers Age of Ultron, he was acting like a normal human being. Even if he's a robot, he was acting like, he was an ordinary villain with a sense of humor, evil spirit, and a bit ambitions and ruthlessness, and having really a sense of consciousness in his mind, robotic mind. And they really surprised me. What really surprised me, that because in the movie that they changed Ultron's origins. Because in the movie, no, let's begin with the first step. Because if you remember Marvel Comics, or if you ever read it, Ultron was created by Hank Pym, or should I call him Ant-Man, because that's the more easier way to remember him. Ant-Man created Ultron, but in the movie he was created by Tony Stark and a little bit of help of Bruce Banner, Hulk. And there was the first difference between in the story, because if you know, Ant-Man, his fucking movie came out this July, August, in the summer, so tried to rebuild some kind of another part of the story of Marvel and Avengers, so I understand why they make Tony Stark and Bruce Banner the creators of Ultron. Well, in fact, at the beginning, Tony Stark said that, Iron Man said that Ultron will be just, a self-confident, free robot who, will try to make peace around the world and saving people. Another, how he said, another path to make, the Avengers, work a little bit lower. Not so much like in the first movie, if you understand what I meant. So, yeah, that was the beginning. Until when they were trying to create him, and of course they used Loki's scepter, should I say, spoiler alert, in the scepter, the Mind Stone, one of the 6 Infinity Stones that Thanos is after. They used, the Mind Stone powers somehow, of course, with the connection with Jarvis, trying to create Ultron. And then really surprised me, because at the beginning, when Ant-Man created Ultron, he was just an ordinary robot, good, following orders, trying to keep the peace and safety around the world, and trying to help Ant-Man and the Avengers in his business. And we all know that few comics later, Ultron became evil, because his mind somehow, under his thoughts and circumstances, his own mind changed his own opinions. So, yeah, that's how it happened in the Marvel Comics. But in Avengers, Age of Ultron, right a few seconds after he wake up, as some kind of a system, like Jarvis, the same time, in the exactly first place when Ultron was born, he right away, of course, he right away thought, that humans are, the Avengers, they are like puppets, tangled in strings, that they want to change the world, they want to save the world, and keep it safe, but not change it. And that's the difference between Ultron and the other humans. Sure, humans sometimes do nasty shit, but come on, blowing the world apart, it's not a very good business. But whatever, Ultron is Ultron, so fuck it. So here's the thing. So at the beginning, he was just, one of the remaining pieces of, the Iron Man suits that tried to keep the world safe, like they were shown in the beginning of the Avengers Age of Ultron movie, where they were where the Avengers were attacking Hydra, Baron Strucker, and when their Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch were there, and everything, and tried to take the scepter, so Thor can take it in Asgard. So let's just say that thanks with the scepter and the Chitauri technology, let's just say that this was the first pieces of creating Ultron. Because, Ultron was some kind of project that Tony Stark invented. But apparently that Hydra, with the Chitauri technology and the scepter, they tried to create their own Ultron. And of course, Tony used this technology, these things, what they used for creating their own robot army in the same way like Ultron. These things, Tony Stark used it to create his own thing. But they didn't know what will happen, what the effects and the catch will be if they create that. And after that, of course, like Ant-Man did, even Iron Man did the same thing like Ant-Man. The same mistake, creating Ultron. Because in the Marvel movies and in the Marvel comics, we all know he was evil. He tried to make the world extinct. But okay, here's the beginning. But let's talk about a little bit about Ultron. The difference is, like I said at the beginning, the difference is between about Ultron in the movie and in the comics. In the comics, he was a total robot without all these personalities like a normal human being have. But and that was the big difference. And one of the big differences, Ultron. Well, as far as I remember in the comics, Ultron didn't never fight so much like he did in the movie. He didn't have that skills. I mean, he had the technology, he had the genius intellect, you know, all these laser power, magnetic powers, and everything. And yeah, he was quite a tough opponent that the Avengers ever had. I mean, down below, lower than Thanos, in some point of view. So I understand it, but I really have to say, as a fan of Marvel Universe, I like Ultron better than in the comics, because in the comics he was yes, he was powerful and everything. He was trying to make a better body like he did in the movie. Like for example, like he called himself Ultron Prime. You know, the perfect body, and to be some kind of powerful and menacing. Because like, and the difference is another difference between Marvel comics and movies. That in the movies, Ultron tried to make himself some kind of godlike character, so everyone will be feared of him. But in the comics, he was just a normal machine who was doing the same thing like he did in the movies. But all this what I mentioned that Ultron had in the movies, well, didn't exist in the comics. But here's the thing, and about his target, how in the way how he tried to eliminate the humanity, or try to saying that bring the humanity to extinction. Well, in the comics, is the thing. In the comics, he used nuclear rockets and lasers, and well, mostly he used nuclear rockets, you know, to try to blow the world apart, and that was it. But in the movie, you know, he used the vibranium that he stole from Lucy's Claw, and if you know vibranium, you know where the vibranium came from. Wakanda, Black Panther. Did it ring a bell? Of course. So he stole the vibranium from Lucy's Claw, you know, not only to make his body perfect and powerful, but even to make I don't remember the country where he came from, and when he made a stronghold after the Avengers defeated Hydra. I don't remember the country, but the same stronghold that Baron von Strucker had, Ultron conquered after his death. Because you remember, after Avengers captured him, Ultron killed him in the prison, and with his own blood, writ on the wall, peace, word peace. Man, badass motherfucker. So at the beginning I thought he would use vibranium, you know, to make his body perfect and powerful, and well, yeah, he did. But mostly he even used vibranium to make some kind of underground machine, rocket with a lot of fire, you know, fire pushing energy to make the entire town of this country where he was, you know, to go up, 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 and up, so much higher that after a certain distance from the ground, Ultron decided to drop it and to make a total apocalyptic cataclysm that will destroy humanity and even destroy a lot of parts around the world too. And that is really crazy. And it is. I mean, in the comics, they try to do that with nuclear rockets. I mean, I know I mentioned a lot of nuclear rockets because I remember it from the Marvel comics. But he had a lot of ways. But this one, it is crazy. But for me, it's one of the best actions to eradicate humanity that Ultron ever had. Because if you remember, if you saw the movie, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver worked for Ultron at the beginning. And Ultron, you know, he said that the only thing he wants is to change humanity, but yeah, of course, not eradicate, because there's a little secret that Ultron keep away from Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. to make his, to don't make them worry or proclaim him as a monster or a psychopath like Scarlet Witch did. So he said, that his only target was to eliminate the Avengers, and of course, like in the comics. But of course, the second part of the plan, and the biggest one, is to eradicate humanity. Clean it, our history. To destroy the world and rebuild it. Where robots with him as leader will live and make a world a better place. Crazy, but very ambitious and very, very badass mission. Yeah, and there's one other thing that really impressed me, because we all know that Ultron is the creator of Vision, who later became a part of the Avengers. Well, in the comics, Ultron created Vision, to destroy the Avengers, but with the vibranium he stole from Lucius Claw, played by Andy Serkis, he used this vibranium not only for his spaceship town, and a flying town, but even not even to make his body stronger, but even to make the the Vision. But so the difference between comics and the movie was, in the comics he created just a normal biomechanical android, who decided his target was to destroy the Avengers. But in the movie, he wanted to make the Vision like it will be a new biomechanical body of Ultron. Nice. I mean, it's a really big change there. So he didn't want to eradicate Avengers. He just wanted to transfer his the files about his mind and his abilities and everything to the Vision's body. To become stronger, and even he destroyed the scepter and put the Mind Stone on the forehead of Vision. So in some way he could be a lot more powerful than he is now, and he was before. Because if you remember, like in the comics, if you destroy Ultron's body, even his main one, his mind will always be transferred into another robotic Sentinel. How he called his Ultron army. He always be transferred into another body, like in the comics. And that's what he did. About that, so very impressive. There's, from difference between the comics and in the movies, there's been a lot of changes, a lot. But I like it. I liked it more in the movies than in the comics. And about his powers, well, there's no big difference. He uses lasers and superhuman strength and durability is good. Like in the I bet there is a lot more stronger than in the Marvel comics. His durability and his powers and his strength and genius intellect, because less in the Marvel comics, in the Marvel movies, he have what we call free will. So he's not a total robot like Joss Whedon and Kevin Feige said. So a lot of changes happen from the Marvel comics to the Marvel movies, because the first one is he have multiple personalities, choices and free will like a normal human being. He created Vision, to make his own personal biomechanical body. And third, his way to destroy the world is a lot different than it was in the comics. But the mission target was the same shit, the same thing, and I like it. So at the end, I said a lot of things, so I didn't want to be a spoiler, but I said what we know. So that's about my thoughts. So my thoughts, I'll be quick about it. My thoughts, I like the character. I like the changes, much more better than in the comics. I like his personality, his durability, his strength, his genius level intellect is much more higher than it was in the comics. With his own free will. That's the main part of my thoughts. So I liked him much more in the movies, much more, because in the movies he was much more liberated. He was much more like a total ultimate bad guy, and much more better than he was in the Marvel comics. That's my opinion. That's my thoughts. So as a villain in the movies, in the Marvel movies, I will give him a nice 9 out of 10. There's a little 1 point less because they need to work a little bit more about Ultron and his personalities and everything. But it's good. I mean, 9 out of 10, it's fair enough for a bad guy of a caliber like him, like Ultron. Because like I said, his durability is good, fighting skills are good, and much more better in the Marvel comics. His genius intellect is much more higher than it was in the comics, but still good. I mean, all his plans, how he worked, and his creation and his history, how all this Ultron project started, was amazing. Fascinating even. Yeah, that's the word. Fascinating. It was fascinating. Much more better than in the comics, like when Ant-Man created. I mean, it was a big surprise at the beginning for me when Tony Stark created. That's Tony Stark and Bruce Banner created. But nonetheless, it was really impressive and fascinating. So, as a bad guy, like I said, 9 out of 10, and he deserved it because he was spectacular. He was amazing. But, like I said, as a villain, his mission was the same: to eradicate humankind and trying to rebuild world population for robots. You know, to make some kind of a world robotic empire. I mean, that's how I think. That's how I think. But still, at the end, as a character, he was really, really good. Much more better than in the comics. So here I'm done. I don't want to spoil, you know, so much. But the only thing I wish to add is that, like he didn't like Ant-Man before when he became evil, in the same way, like he did in the comics, hating Ant-Man, in the movie he hated Tony Stark. No, he didn't want to be mixed with his personalities, with his ambitions and plans, and what the kind of a guy he was and he is. So the same thing, like happened to Ant-Man, this is the same way like happened to Iron Man. So the hate is the same, only a different person. So here I am done. Rate the video, comment, subscribe, give me thoughts on this, what you personally think. If you watch the movie, give your personal opinions about Ultron. What did you expect it? Did you like it much more better in the movie or in the comics? Give me your personal ideas. Comment, like I said, comment, subscribe. It really is not that easy. Just use your mouse, click a click. Give your thoughts sorry. Like I said, give your thoughts and ideas. Drop me a like, I really appreciate that. Peace everyone, have an awesome day. And for the ones who didn't watch the Avengers Age of Ultron, watch it, because I promise you it's gonna be a blast. A blast. Living blast. Lord of Shadows, signing off. See you around.